Weaver pleaded not guilty to murder in Bristol, but he admitted 4 charges of manslaughter. In court today, it was said that Weaver had shown particular interest in the killings at Hungerford by Michael Ryan, and that he was the legal owner of a number of shotguns.
Police carried 3 shotguns into court in Bristol for a murder trial which lasted less than an hour. Kevin Weaver walked into court flanked by 2 officers and admitted killing his mother and sister and 2 men. The prosecution dropped the murder charges on medical advice. Weaver pleaded guilty to manslaughter. In this house in Redfield in Bristol, Kevin Weaver beat his mother and sister to death with repeated hammer blows. He left the house armed with these shotguns, a double-barreled Russian-made shotgun, a sawn-off shotgun, and this pump-action shotgun, a type which will be banned when a bill introduced after the Hungerford massacre becomes law in the summer. With it, Weaver walked into the Alexandra workwear factory and shot 2 men. David Purcell, who tried to tackle him, was shot twice and died instantly. John Peterson died later in hospital. But he missed his main target, the ex-girlfriend he'd wanted to kill since she jilted him 2 years before. He told Alison Woodman, "This is your lucky day." Office staff fled. Outside, Weaver came face to face with a disabled woman who couldn't run away.
I think the only thing I could think of at that time was just, dear God, please don't let him shoot me. I mean, there was no way he could miss me. I mean, if he had wanted to go on randomly shooting, I mean, I would have been a prime target at that stage.
Weaver drove away, firing no more shots, and was caught by 2 unarmed traffic policemen. When they challenged him, he got out of his car with a bottle of whiskey and offered no resistance. Police cordoned off Weaver's house, which was crudely booby-trapped. He left gas taps on and lit the stove under a pan of oil. To let the gas out, police fired at the windows. The first rescue workers had to use breathing apparatus to go into the house. They found the bodies of Kevin Weaver's mother and sister. Also inside the house, police found another shotgun and booby traps and poachers' mines, as well as hundreds of rounds of ammunition. And there were shooting and survival magazines and books, and evidence that Weaver had videoed news reports of the Hungerford massacre. Today, the police defended their decision to give him back his shotgun and firearm certificates last year. His mother had been among those who appealed for him to be allowed to have them back. Nobody knew that Kevin Weaver would go out one day in October and shoot 2 men at random after the savage killing of his own family.
Senator Richard Gephardt is about to pull out.
Weaver was devastated when his fiancée broke off their engagement. The prosecuting counsel, Mr. Paul Chadd, said Weaver's behaviour resembled that of Michael Ryan, the Hungerford killer.
It was 2 years after Weaver was jilted by his girlfriend that he took his revenge. He first battered his mother Margaret and sister Linda to death with 2 hammers at their family home in Redfield, Bristol. He said he didn't want them to be upset if he was sent to prison. He turned on the gas taps and left a chip pan on to cause an explosion. Police shot at windows to release the gas. Then, armed with a shotgun, he went to the factory where his ex-girlfriend Alison Woodman worked on the outskirts of Bristol. She was his target, but instead, firing wildly, he gunned down 2 of her colleagues, David Purcell, a former policeman who tried to disarm him, and John Peterson, sitting behind a partition wall. Weaver told police for 2 years he'd wanted to kill her as a punishment, but when he saw her, he changed his mind. He said it was her lucky day. In court, Weaver's trail of death was likened to that of Michael Ryan's at Hungerford. Weaver had taped television coverage of the Hungerford shootings. Avon and Somerset police tonight defended their decision to let Weaver keep his firearms licence after he was found in Wales with a gun 8 months before when they confiscated his weapon.
We then went to his mother, to his girlfriend, to his girlfriend's father, and to a doctor, all of whom thought him to be a proper person to possess a firearm.
Now Avon and Somerset police support calls for tougher controls on firearms, saying the government's proposals to amend firearms legislation don't go far enough.
Murder, but pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Bristol Crown Court heard that he killed his mother and sister with a hammer at their home in Redfield. Then, aiming to kill his former fiancée, he'd gone to a factory at Patchway, where he'd shot 2 men working there, David Purcell and John Peterson. The court heard he had severe mental abnormalities. Weaver had a range of guns in his legal possession, including a pump-action shotgun, which he'd bought by mail order. After the court case, Avon and Somerset police called for even tighter restriction on guns.